Saturday night, Washington, D.C., Capital One Arena, the site of tonight's matchup against the Dallas Mavericks. When the Wizards last saw the Mavs, it was down in Dallas, and we walked away with the dub. But tonight, it's not only about the action on the court. We've got something special up our sleeves, and of course, that includes the arrivals. Yes, the players arriving, making some donations to the community, as we always like to celebrate here with the Wizards. However, there's more to it. There might be another familiar face amongst the crowd. I don't want to tell the whole story. Well, let's just say there he is for the very first time on Monumental Sports Network, the Wall Star, the legend, John Wall himself, making his Monumental Sports Network debut, and it couldn't be any better. Let's go ahead and get to it.
The Washington Wizards select John Wall.
Wall drives up over the basket, and Wall, John Wall star. Oh my! John Wall. John Wall with the NBA's 2015-2016 season-long NBA Cares Community Assist Award. Gives it to Wall. Clock moves, 6 seconds. Wall well beyond the arc for three. It's there! Oh, it's there! Oh, it's there! What a shot!
Welcome into Vanna Studios, Wizards Pregame Live. Wes Hall here with Jason Smith and John Wall. Welcome aboard, man. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Big homecoming for you. Normally we'd start talking basketball action. Right now, I want to talk about you, sir. You, the time that you spent in the city, what you mean to this organization, to the fans. This is a big moment for us, so thank you for coming back and allowing us to share some space with you, talk some ball. I'm gonna be honest with y'all at home. We've been talking basketball for the past 2-3 hours, and it has been absolutely wonderful to pick your brain. But do you mind if we give you some flowers while you're here?
Appreciate it, for
All
sure.
right, let's get to it. First of all, let's take a trip back in time. Let's say Christmas a couple years ago. Well, do we want to run the play where?
Why do you look directly at me when you say
I have nothing to do with it.
Let's run this clip and put a camera on John. He can kind of explain what happened on Christmas a couple years ago.
Tell us through it. It's kind of like an impromptu film.
Let's see. I was on the Knicks. I'm playing great bottom weak side defense, and this guy just happens to go in there and be like, you know what? I'm not going to dunk on him. I'm going to make him look silly and go for a 360 layup. Notice how I got the ball out quick. I wasn't complaining. I didn't put my head down, but this man goes out here and does his thing. This is why he is the Wall star. Great defense, Jake, by the way.
I see what you're doing. Ain't nothing wrong with a little self-indulgence there. I will say this, too. We got some other memories up our sleeve. How about a slam dunk contest? John, I remember watching this moment at home, and I was like, this dude is an athlete, but you also brought the entertainment factor with it as well. And as you know, DC, these fans ain't cutting no corners. They want to see the shine. They want to see you on the big stage. Talk us through this moment that you remember.
Well, first of all, I said I would never do the dunk contest unless I made the All-Star game. So when I got in the All-Star game, I said, I got to go out there and put on a show. And for me, I'm entertained. I like to dance. I like to have fun. So once I made that last dunk, I had to hit a little nay-nay real quick.
I love it. And trust me, we did as well. Again, that is why this moment is stapled in so many people's minds. But I got another one for you on my little list of stuff over here. Let's go back 16-17 season. Boston series.
Yes.
Game 6.
Yes.
In Cap One Arena. It's fitting because this moment has been captured on film, on pictures and photos. I think there's a spot in the arena where it's actually captured in wood now of you jumping on that table. How awesome was that for you as a player to be able to bring that moment to DC?
First of all, the play wasn't really for me.
Thank you. Tell him, John.
So we discovered
I
something
was
now.
in the corner. The play wasn't for me, but we was about to get a 5-second violation.
Yep.
I tiptoed a little sideline, caught the ball, and I was going against Avery Bradley, one of the best defenders in the league at the time. And I knew I couldn't get downhill. And it's a shot I work on every day, and thank God for it, it went in. And that's the biggest shot of my career. Afterwards, I had to go jump on the table.
Wow.
You wait for those moments, and I got that moment in a great arena.
John, just thinking about this moment, you see the crowd, they're there. First of all, shout out to the unis that way. We always love the uniform.
Yeah,
It's one
gotta
of my
love 'em.
favorites. But this moment right here, you can feel it. It's still palpable, the electricity that moment sent through the fanhood. And I think that's why I can say personally, as someone who was covering you at that time, that the moment that you decided to be able to come back here and join us on the desk was going to be a great one. So we want more of those moments as a broadcaster.
Yeah.
Now, Jason, he's a rookie now. So we get
No. This guy is a basketball savant.
No, he's a basketball savant, but on the TV side.
The little thing that you really need to know is that after in the post-game presser, Brad
Brad was
You
like,
jumped on the. He goes, you jumped on the table. He's like,
I was like, yeah, I jumped on the table.
We
Like,
got a little clip of that too, but we'll have to find that one.
Yeah, we're going to get it in. I like that. You know what? Let's take a trip down memory lane looking at some of the actual career acknowledgments by the numbers, because when number 2 was on the court, he did a few things that I might want to remind you of. Take a look at it. Of course, 2010 SEC Player of the Year at Kentucky, a program with so much pedigree, you got to get checked by ID just to walk on the campus in Lexington. Then he's the first overall pick with the Wizards, of course, 5-time All-Star, 2014 Slam Dunk Contest champion. That ain't easy to do. And here's a nugget that I don't even think John's aware of. 3rd all-time in postseason assists per game, along the likes of one Irvin Magic Johnson and John Stockton. How you feel about being included in that, John?
feel great. I never knew that. I told you, when it came across the board, I said, what? I never knew that. But I think that's just a testament to how I was as a player, trying to get my teammates involved. And I knew without those guys, I couldn't be special and be great out there. So it's great to be mentioned with those 2 great names.
Indeed. Jason, you have any advice to give someone who's getting started in the broadcast world? You've been with us a few years. Any advice you want to give John on how to just, enjoy what we do?
Well, for the most part, I would say know your X's and O's, but he knows that through and through. We talked back behind the scenes, and just to hear him talk about basketball, he catches every game. He knows the statistics of people, not just in the NBA, but in college. So the more knowledge that you know, the better off you'll be. I got no problem with him. I got no problem with him.
John, I'm so excited. Let's go ahead and get to the basketball conversation for tonight. We're going to drive the baseline right now and get into a conversation about this Wizards-Mavs matchup because, as I said, we saw them in October, early in the season in October, and got a win down in Dallas. First chance we had a chance to take a look at Cooper Flagg. Of course, in that game, Keyshawn George went off, but now we've got Trey Johnson, who was Mr. Texas in high school, played at Texas from Dallas, taking on the number 1 pick, Cooper Flagg. John, I'm coming to you with this one first because it's important to talk about a number 1 pick from a number 1 pick. We know what Cooper's doing down there. We know what Dallas's record is, but I'm curious, how do you kind of disturb a number 1 pick? How do you make him feel uncomfortable, especially after he took a loss to you already?
I think, first of all, with them right now, he's playing the point guard role. So he has to try to figure out that. And point guard is the hardest position to learn coming into the NBA. Yeah. So I think picking him up full court, making him uncomfortable, making him turn his back, and then see if he can really run the offense. But Cooper Flagg, he's getting more and more confident game by game. And you just got to hope he's not making shots. But he's finding his niche throughout the league right now.
Jason, we were there to witness that first game. And from what you took from it, how does Washington capitalize and try to consistently keep him from unlocking his game so far?
Put the best defender on and make sure you make him uncomfortable out there. You see the rookie comparison between the 2 players of Trey Johnson and Cooper Flagg. I mean, right now, Trey Johnson is playing very well. He's playing within the system. Cooper Flagg is trying to navigate how he's supposed to be operating out there on the floor. And as John said, he is a point guard right now. He's typically the small forward or power forward. And if you're going to try and disrupt him, be physical, be aggressive with him. He's always been the strongest, fastest player in high school and in college. Now he's come up to the pro level. He's had a little bit of a stumble, but I feel like he's such a high caliber player. He's going to figure out eventually. Just hopefully not tonight.
Be a little chaos, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like you say, he's found his niche, he's found his role, and then he has to be the main guy now. Yeah. AD's out, Kyrie's not playing right now, so he's the number 1 option. But he's getting more and more comfortable. They're finding ways to put him in pick and rolls, make sure he catch the ball a little bit on the sideline. So he'll be fine, but Trey Johnson is having a better year right now.
Yeah. That's the perfect segue. That's not a rookie move there, John. That's not a rookie move. That's what we call a professional segue. Let's talk about Trey Johnson. Of course, we love that Trey's been able to do drafted here this past year, and I know Trey's a certified bucket. I've called him a gym rat on purpose multiple times because he loves the game of basketball. I want your impression of what you've seen out of him so far.
A bucket getter. He's going to get a bucket wherever he wants. He's a great shooter, great form. And like I've always heard and seen, he loves to be in the gym. Can't get him out the gym. I think for him, he's just finding his role. Sometimes he's coming off the bench, so you're trying to see if you're going to be that 6th man. The last game, he got an opportunity to start, and he's been scoring the ball well. I think he's just figuring it out. And when he does those little things of finding the shooters, passing the ball, and playing defense, he'll get opportunities and more minutes out there.
Jason, number 6 overall pick, was inserted in the starting lineup last game. And again, when you see how he was able to perform, double-digit scoring, 19 points, not 18, because they went back and fixed the free throw.
They changed it on me?
They had to take the free throw for you.
Right, they added the free throw. But 19 points is his first game as a starter. Is that the way that you want to step into this league, by having that kind of confidence in that?
Well, absolutely, and the way that he's doing it is amazing. He's actually playing within the flow of the offense. He's doing a great job of shooting the basketball. He shot 39% in Texas. He's doing just the same. You always think that there might be a little bit of a transition period for a young guy, maybe a different basketball, but for him, he's going out there. He has had the time in the gym from the time he was drafted to now. He's put in the work. There's no question, if and or but, about that. He's doing a great job of playing that style of offense to say, hey, I'm going to find myself in the right position to have success. He's going to put in the work to do it.
I like the fact that you have the will, the ethic, and again, just the want to. Something about a guy that you have to kick out of the gym, everyone. Did they have to kick either one of y'all out of the gym?
Him, for
They had
sure.
to kick me out.
Sure.
But I think for Trey is the one thing about it, he's not forcing shots.
No.
Yeah.
He's coming in playing the right way. You know, like Jay-Z said, you would think a guy would get his numbers to drop percentage-wise. No, I'm playing the basketball the right way. I know I'm a great catch-and-shoot guy, and I'm playing throughout the offense, the floor of the offense.
Yeah. Man, this is what you want to hear. Number 1 All-Star overall pick, John Wall, giving you a breakdown on the number 1 pick in Cooper Flag and the first-round draft pick in Trey Johnson. I'm good. Jason, this is a fun way to start the show.
Pretty nice.
Well done, John. I see what you're doing. I think we might have to keep him around a little bit. By the way, we got to take a quick break here on Wizards Pregame Live. By the way, something else here on the network, the latest news in sports on everything happening in the world of DC sports. You can join Washington football legend Brian Mitchell and, of course, veteran DC sports reporter J.P. Finley on the B. Mitch and Finley Show. It's weekdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Monumental Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Trey Johnson from the Washington Wizards, and you're watching Monumental Sports Network.
Nice left-hand finish by Trey Johnson.
Welcome back to Wizards Pregame Live ahead of tonight's matchup against the Dallas Mavs. Let's take a look at our ESPN Bet Sportsbook's pregame odds. The Wizards total points over and under is set at 114.5. Over the last 3 games, the Wizards have averaged 108 points. Just a little bit of clarity for you. But again, the Wizards total points over and under is set at 114.5. This is our ESPN Bet Sportsbook pregame odds ahead of tonight's matchup against the Cavs. By the way, this is night 2 of the first back-to-back, so it's only appropriate on night 2 that we have 2 on the show. Do you feel where I'm going? Now, let's talk some basketball. Guys, last time that this team took on the Dallas Mavericks, a young man by the name of Keyshawn George decided to go ahead and put up a double-double real quick, 34 points and 11 boards with that. John, when you think about his performance that you were able to witness, because as Jason said, you watch every game. You watch every game. Just what do you think about his growth in his second season now?
I think for him, he's just being more comfortable having the basketball in his hands. He can make plays for his teammates. We know he can shoot the ball very well, but I think he's slowed down. The game has slowed down very well for him. But I think just being more comfortable, knowing he can play the point forward role for him, and he's getting to his sweet spot. So he's a guy that's athletic, can shoot the ball, make plays for each other. So against Dallas, he was getting downhill, getting to his sweet spots.
You know, I think with Keyshawn, he's done a great job of his jump from his first year to his second year, remaining out of foul trouble, making great decisions in the pick and roll action. He obviously can shoot the ball very well from 3, but the jump for me is his ability to not get fouls right here. He's playing amazing defense, using his hands, using his length, getting the steals, deflections, but also getting to his spots in transition. He feels more comfortable out there from year 1 to year 2.
John, for those who don't know, you spent a lot of time in the city of Miami. Obviously, Keyshawn went to Miami, and we've seen what he was able to do. You see the numbers right now, what he did against Dallas. Phenomenal. But I want to talk about what you know about what you've seen from this kid down in South Florida putting in work.
Yeah, I would be going to work out, trying to work my way back into the NBA at the time. And at 6 a.m. when I'm in the gym, he's always the first guy in the gym.
Wow.
And for a college guy, that's great to see. He's willing to work. Coming from France, where he came from, he was always in there working on ball handling, doing all the little things and asking questions, asking for advice. And that's something you would want for a young guy. So to see him to develop and get to this situation, I think it's going to be exciting for him.
I appreciate that. Matter of fact, you know what I'd like to do? If we could, if you'll indulge me, let's take a trip in the film room with John and Jason and talk more about it. John, you go first.
Yeah, you get Keyshawn George right coming down, get a good pick and roll, get the switch I want. Taking his time, being very patient here. 6'9" against 6'5", backing him down. He's too little. Gotta get the baby out the paint. Get an and one there and finish with a great left hand there. So he's just getting to his spots and taking his time. Next play here, you get a pick and roll. Keep the guy on his hip. Give him a little shoulder bump, one of those shape bumps. The big is in a drop, pull up to a mid-range.
And you know, he does a really good job in the pick and roll scenario. If he doesn't like it and he feels like the defender's gonna go over, he rejects it, he gets to his spot, he gets his feet under himself, he gets the balance, and everybody knows Keyshawn can shoot that 3. He should have been an M1, but he didn't get the foul. Again, He's going in there, he's going to slip out of that screen. He does a really good job of reading the scenario. If he doesn't have it, he attracts 2 defenders. He gives the nice little pocket pass to the big, and that's really something that he's excelled at. He's not making the turnover. He's making the right play. He's passing it to his teammates. And really now, because he's so offensively dominant, he's getting his teammates involved. He realizes if he can attract the defense, he can get guys going other ways.
John, as a point guard with a ton of speed, how important is it to acknowledge the pace that Keyshawn plays with, as big as he is?
It's a great pace. Like you say, he has his size, so you can't speed him up. And then you put a smaller guy on him, he's willing to go to the post. He put the work in this offseason to get to the post. If you put a bigger guy that's the same size as him, he's going to put him in pick and rolls and get to where he wants to. And like Jay-Z said, he's more comfortable scoring on all 3 levels now. So in pick and rolls, you got to trap him. If you don't, he's getting to his mid-range or he's going to make the pocket pass.
Keyshawn George, 34-11 the last time he saw the Dallas Mavericks. I love the analysis from both of these guys. Obviously looking for an opportunity for him to take advantage of the Dallas Mavs. Remember, last night he was out against Cleveland with illness, so glad to see him back in good health to take on these Mavs here on a Saturday evening. I cannot wait to get the tip off, but they tell me I got to take a commercial break. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do just that, and when we come back, Megan McPeak's got a conversation about impact from the bench, the reserves doing more when their numbers are dialed. By the way, got to remind you about Beltway football, post-game pod. It's live on Monumental Sports Network YouTube channel Sunday night after the Commanders take on the Detroit Lions. Join JP Finley and Mitch Tisler as they give you their instant reaction and break down all the action from the game. Wizards pregame, back in a moment on Monumental Sports Network. Welcome back. Wizards pregame live. CJ McCollum, the focus of our countdown to tip-off. Under 8 minutes to go. CJ McCollum, that last game, that was yesterday. Season high 25 points. He had 20 of them in the first half. By the way, 6 threes as well. Very much appreciated. But it wasn't just CJ who was helping the Wizards battle the Cleveland Cavaliers. Washington's bench, the reserves, the depth at hand, always been an asset. Definitely going to be utilized tonight. Here's our sideline reporter, Megan McPeak, with more.
Yeah, Wes, in order to build winning habits, you need to go through the fire. But you also need to hit some bumps along the way to then figure out what the answers to the problem are. And it also helps when you have a very good veteran presence around you to answer some of those questions. And after last night's game, veteran CJ McCollum had a really great perspective. He said, quote, you need game reps. You need to be able to get hit. You need to be able to execute a game plan against somebody in a different jersey. These guys got meaningful minutes tonight. And if you want to build winning habits, the only way to do it is stack minutes over time and build consistency. That's how you develop players, and that's what we're trying to do. And Wes, these young players, they are gaining great experience that isn't always afforded to young players, especially when you think of the different ways many different teams have gone through rebuilds. So when it comes to this, it's always a situation for not only evaluation, but growth. Wes?
Thank you very much, Megan. I appreciate that. You're absolutely correct. Different opportunities, different games present different things to be learned along the way. Tonight, the challenge is what? The big men for Dallas. Now, last night we had the big men for Cleveland, but tonight, no AD, no Lively. But there's a guy that we might.
Former Wizard, the landlord, Daniel Gafford. Got to watch out for him. He is a lob threat. He's going to be in a ton of pick and rolls, and he's going to want to block a lot of shots.
Yes. So, John, how do this entire team, especially when you talk what Megan was talking about with those reserves, how do they deal with the size and just the vertical advantage sometimes inside?
Well, you know, you go those situations. As a point guard, you got to be able to get to the paint, but I think Sarr's having a great year, so you find him in that middle pick and roll situation where he can knock down mid-ranges, or he can pick and pop. But at the same time, the only way you go against a shot blocker is attack a shot blocker. And Sarr's a lob threat, a pick and pop threat, so don't be scared to go against him.
I like the sound of that. It's going to be a lot of lobs thrown tonight on both sides of the ball. We know what Gaff likes to do. Same thing he liked to do when he was here. He likes to do in Dallas. And as John just said, be prepared for Sarr to take advantage of that as well. But now it's time for us to get to the crossover brought to you by Lexus. And tonight we're doing a little different. Normally I ask Drew a question, but I'm going to ask Chris Miller a question. Chris, my rook, what do you think? Your thoughts, sir?
So I woke up this morning really joyful. One, to see the Wizards compete better than they did last night, and two, the guy that's in the studio. I don't want to get emotional, but I talked to John this summer. We were at Bradley Beal's wedding about this opportunity. And for me to see him in that studio is kind of a full circle moment. I'm so proud of him. I'll just leave it there, but you've already seen within less than 20 minutes the IQ that this guy displayed during his entire NBA career. You were his teammate. I'll let you finish it out. But I'm proud of you, Five. Welcome home.
Yeah, welcome to the dark side, brother. But listen, hey, good to have you on the team. Excited to hear your insight about the team. And Bub Carrington primarily, what have you seen in young Bub? I don't know how much you've seen of him this season, but last year, what surprised you about Bub Carrington, and what do you think he needs to do to kind of take that next jump?
Well, I think one thing, Buzz a young rookie coming in. He got a great mid-range. For me, I think the thing for him, I would say, get to the paint more. Be able to get to the paint more, be able to find your guys, and learn how to knock down a floater. I think that'd be the best thing for him because his mid-range is there. Just get to the floater, get to the paint, and learn how to make the right decisions. That's all I would say.
Gentlemen, that's what I want to hear. Let's get to it, guys. Chris, Drew, normally I'd let you take it, but I'm going to be stingy. I'm going to roll out. I got Jay over here for it. You guys ready for some action?
Can't wait.
Come on, let's run it back.
All right, in the words of Chris Miller, the game is yours. Wizards, Mavs, Saturday night showdown in Capital One Arena. John Wall's first show here on Monumental Sports Network is coming to an end, and it's only the beginning. Jason Smith, we had some fun, did we not?
We absolutely did.
All right, the game's
John.
next.
Welcome back.
We'll see you on the other side. Night 2 of the first back-to-back game of this 25-26 season. Washington welcoming in the Dallas Mavs, who they got a win against back in late October in Dallas tonight. The Mavericks showed up with a bit of revenge on their mind. Wizards actually got out to an early 16-15 point lead, got it back in the third quarter. Helped, of course, by C.J. McCollum leading this young group. But it was the fourth quarter where things began to take a turn in the Mavs' favor. Final score 111-105. We officially welcome you in the Vanna Studios here at Monumental Sports Network for Wizards Postgame Live, presented by Robinhood. Wes Hall here with Jason Smith and John Wall for the first time this season. Glad to have you here. Of course, John, let's get into some basketball talk. I can get into the accolades, but I want to talk about the action more so. Let's get into the fourth quarter because that was Washington's lowest scorer of the night, 19 points to the 29 for Dallas. Tell me what you guys saw just as the closing moments of this game were happening. Whoever wants to go first, fine with me.
Well, I think they didn't do a great job of moving the ball. They went 7 for 23 from the field and 2 for 9 from 3. So I think it was just too much stagnant, not enough ball movement, not enough guys getting shots up. So they kind of got stagnant. You got to give credit to Dallas. They stepped their defense up and got a lot of steals in the fourth quarter.
Jason?
For me, I think it was spacing on the offensive end. When you say stagnation, they didn't have the proper spacing. Coming down in transition, too many guys on one side of the basketball, not enough spacing to go out there and get the job done. If you're trying to move the basketball or have a pick-and-roll opportunity, the defense is just sitting right there in your lap. In that fourth quarter, they didn't put in winning plays. I mean, you had a great first half from C.J. McCollum, 23 points. He didn't have it going in the fourth quarter. He tried to force the issue a little bit. Bub Carrington actually had a pretty good, decent fourth quarter, but overall the Wizards just couldn't find a way to win on their home floor.
In that fourth, again, to their point, 3 turnovers for Washington, but it came along with 4 blocks, too. So in one side, you're getting some defensive stomps, but you're not stopping possessions and plays. And I'm curious, John, how do you balance that out? Because I saw a lot of guards down in the paint. And it worked both ways. So what were you seeing?
Well, even before you get to that point, in the second half, I said you got to do a better job of fast break.
Yes.
They gave up 17 in the second half, one more than what they had in the first half.
Wow.
But you got to give a lot of credit to Williams and Najee Marshall.
Yeah.
Those two guys got it going for them in the fourth quarter and put them in position where they was able to get a win.
Yes.
And made the little things happen. And they went small ball. They put P.J. Washington at the 5.
Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Why is that dangerous, though?
Small ball, it's hard to guard because you think you can go out there and guard 1 through 5, switching on all the pick and rolls. But for them, P.J. Washington, he's a dangerous player, especially tonight. But also, Najee Marshall coming off the bench and really showing out, hey, I've got it going offensively. Keep feeding me the basketball. He had an even production throughout all four quarters. He did a really good job. You got to give him credit. Dallas did a really good job of continuing to feed him the ball. But if you're the Wizards, you got to realize who has the hot hand and try and stop them.
Indeed. Now, I want to take that same thought and flip it and put it on a seer because I wrote down defensive switches as we were watching that fourth quarter. John, you're smiling because we were sitting here talking about it the whole time you're calling it out. Tell the fans at home what you were witnessing. We were talking about how the Mavs were trying to exploit certain matchups to get to the one that they were looking for.
Well, the main one, they were trying to get C.J. McCollum or whoever the ball handler was. And when they went small, you seen P.J. Washington get a couple extra rebounds. They threw it to him in the post. He was able to score on him. And then they tried to triple switch one time, and it didn't really work too well.
So unpack the triple switch for people at home.
Well, because C.J. McCollum get the switch, and you have a guy in the corner, Cam Whitmore is guarding somebody in the corner. He rotated to go get P.J. Washington, and then C.J. ran to the corner guy. But it puts you in a lot of rotations where somebody can go back door, or now Cam Whitmore's on the backside of on the backside of P.J. Washington, and he has inside position for offensive rebound.
Now, Jason, we are now 10 games into the season. Is part of that not lack of communication, just not communicating, and lack of necessarily guys playing with certain units, because you have a CJ on the court with the Cam, who's on with the Trey. Like, is that part of the equation where that necessarily breakdown types of happen?
Well, that's the fluidity of the lineups. You're going to have odd lineups out there. They're going to go out there and play a version of some small ball. You don't have traditional bigs out there. It's tough to go out there and play with people on the floor when you haven't had a lot of practice time. You're going off of a back-to-back. You're tired. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but NBA brand of basketball, there's 5 people on the floor, you figure it out. You got to go out there on the fly and figure it out. I think tonight they did that for the most part. They stayed within grasp of trying to win the game. They just couldn't get the job done at the end.
So, John, beyond CJ, because obviously he has the most experience of everybody that was on the court, when you're looking at the younger players down the stretch of that moment, where are they mentally? What are they looking to try to accomplish in those moments?
Well, I think the most important thing is you got to compete. Okay. That's one. But I think with practice, it would help them out a lot. But being a low man, we talked about it. Yeah. They low man being there, being a young guy, you don't know if you want to be in there or out. So if your rotations are messed up, you're going to be all over the place. But it all starts with the low man. Whoever that is, you have to communicate. And you can tell in the fourth quarter when the offense wasn't going, their defense dropped a little bit. You know, when you're making shots, your defense is going to be at a high level.
Right. See, I love looking back at that fourth quarter, because we talk about learning opportunities and development. And again, nobody's cool with losing. But as Chris said during the game, there's a lot of learning that's happening in real time in pressure moments. Dallas wanted to win this game. They wanted to avoid a season sweep. Matter of fact, the teams, this 2 matchup, it's been a sweep each season from back to 2020-21. So I know what Dallas wanted to do, get their payback and get their get back. I want to look back at the third quarter, though. The third quarter, as Chris says all the time, we were cooking with grease, were we not?
Yes.
I was liking what I saw in the third quarter, John. I mean, look, 33 points, escalating from 24 in the first, 29 in the second, 33 in the third. And why I was saying that is because when we were at halftime, you guys both addressed what they needed to do, and then they went out and did it, John.
Yeah, I think, for one, Alex Hart got aggressive.
Yes.
They gave him the ball a lot more. He got a lot more aggressive. And also, you got to give credit to Cam Whitmore. Coming off the bench, he got it going. You know what I mean? Cam Whitmore had 11. Alex Hart had 10 in the third quarter. So that gave him the momentum. Got him going. You see Sarr step up defensively, make plays, and they had the lead.
Yeah.
So I know having the lead going into the fourth quarter, you're kind of down that you let this game slip away.
Jason?
Yeah, I completely agree with what he just said. Sarr got going with 10 points in the fourth quarter. You had Najee Marshall. He was continuing to be aggressive on the Dallas side, but Cam, 11 points. He did a really good job of staying aggressive. He was getting the opportunity to have good playing time. Yeah. Why not go out there and be aggressive on the offensive end? That's what he's known for doing. He knocked down a couple threes. He was getting to the basket. There's a couple points where I thought that he would get a couple calls to go to the free throw line. He didn't necessarily get to the free throw line that much. He had 2 free throws today, and he was what we know him as, aggressive offensively. He did a really good job of hanging in there, getting the Wizards back into it. They went into halftime down. Come out of the third quarter, going into the fourth, you got a lead. You got to learn to keep the lead on your home floor.
And who would be the responsible person for helping the guys on the 5 on the court lock into that mentality?
You know, I think it was CJ.
Yeah.
He's got to go out there, especially in the first half. He did just that. He scored 23 points.
After putting up 20
Exactly.
yesterday.
He did a really good job in the first half, helped the young guys go out there and finish the game. Now, granted, he was getting exploited on the defensive end in that fourth quarter. They were trying to switch and put him on the ball. Not necessarily a bad thing. We saw him play great defense on Cooper Flagg. He held his ground. He did a really good job. But if you're going to go out there, teach these young guys how to win games at the end of the game. Great ball movement. Very, very good offensive plays. You got to go out there and do your bread and butter plays and get it to the person who's hot.
I want to go ahead and give C.J. McCollum our Clark Construction Hard Hat Player of the Game, because, again, if you have a 20-point performance last night against Cleveland, you come in tonight, you put up what? Again? How many points did he put up tonight, Jason? 25 points in 33 minutes, 9 for 19 from the floor, 2 for 6 from deep. However, it was the 6 rebounds, also 2 dimes. He gave you 2 steals and 2 blocks. John, your assessment on a guy who's played this many years in the league, who's still able to find multiple ways to impact the game.
Well, you know, I mean, he's a microwave. He's a guy that can get buckets at any time he wants to. I mean, he played with Damian Lillard in the backcourt before. Those two was a great tandem. So I think with him, he's seen in the first half, they were struggling offensively to get it going, and he got it going. He kept him in the game, and then some other guys stepped up. I just wish he could have kept it going in the second half, only to give you 2 points after 23 in the first half. I wish he would have kept it going more, but he did a great job, so you got to give him credit the way he played tonight.
And again, you see the matchup right here dealing with Cooper Flagg. Like, go ahead, John.
Well, you know right here, like, when you're a vet, you don't want a rookie coming in thinking he can post you up.
Old man strength, John. It's that old man strength.
But we always got to show our strength in the post.
Yes.
So I like the way that he competed there. You have to do that same when you're on the perimeter.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the challenge kind of got to them tonight. Even though he played a great game, they challenged him on the perimeter to get stops, and they was able to get into the paint and make plays.
It's so impactful for young players to be able to learn in real time, Jason, to John's point. Like, you and Tony did a display about Alex Sarr being able to defend and having proper position in the post. Now you're watching CJ show guards how to deal with bigger guys down in the post. What can a guy like Trey Johnson take from watching CJ defend on ball to Cooper? What can Bub take from that? Feel free.
Holding your ground. You got a bigger player.
Ground.
You got to get low. That low center of gravity for a bigger player. You're taller, but you can't move the player. They've got that base down there. John used to love guarding me in practice. He's like, you're too tall. You can't move me.
But you got to fight, though. You got to fight for your
some real work down.
Yes.
You just can't let them put you under the basket. You have to fight and hold your own. And you know me, as a guard, you take the pride in trying to get a stop on the big man. It's the same as if they switch out on me on the perimeter. They're like, okay, we don't need no help.
Right.
I got this one.
And then you're like, I will show you.
Yes.
I will show you what you think you got. I want to give some flowers out to another guy tonight because last night he played 5 minutes. And Chris Miller mentioned this during the game, his ability to bounce back. And as Coach Keefe said, it wasn't a him thing. It was he wanted to take a closer look at Jameer Watkins. Cam Whitmore in 29 minutes, 19 points. He wanted to dunk on everybody in the building. I'm just talking about the points that he scored. 3 for 6 from deep, 3 boards, and he only had 1 foul. But more importantly, his ability to stay on ball attacking, John. There's a motor that this young man has that just cannot get cut off.
Well, we know offensively he's gifted. There's nothing he can't do offensively. I think the most important thing with him is just staying locked in, competing on both ends of the floor. I mean, take the shots when they're there, the good ones. But like I said, most important, the young guy, sometimes you're going to get minutes, sometimes you're not. But stay locked in, continue to do the work, go through the progression, and make sure you compete on both ends of the floor. You continue to get those minutes.
Question for you, because obviously you had a ton of athleticism, still get buckets. It is what a TI is. I'm curious at how you let a guy like Cam find balance between what he is naturally gifted with while not also using that athleticism as a crutch.
Well, I think you've seen it tonight. When he attacked the rim a couple of times, he got blocked a couple of times. He was looking like, where's the foul? But when you get to this top of the NBA level, it's other guy that's just as athletic as you. So those are times where he could have stopped, shot a floater, could have shot a mid-range, or even created something for somebody else. So what he done was great, being aggressive, attacking the paint. But also know you can't dunk on everybody.
No matter how much you want to. Oh, Jason, now comes the other conversation. I'm going to use you for the big man, Alex Sarr. Why? Because Alex Sarr in 31 minutes tonight, 5 for 6 from the charity stripe, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Only 2 fouls. We're going to get to that part. That's where I want to go with this. He gave you 2 steals and 3 blocks, but he had 17 points. Alex Sarr had the challenge of dealing with everything and anything in the paint. They sent big men at him. They sent little men at him. They sent people at the concession stands at him. The way that he had to go to work tonight to get those 17 points and only have 2 fouls, your assessment, sir.
You know, the biggest thing for me is that he remained aggressive in the first half, but when he got dunked on by Cisse, it's like something was activated. He got going aggressively on offense. It wasn't that everything went out the window, but you kind of saw it. There was a fire in his eyes that he wanted to go out there and prove a point. Like, you're not just going to dunk on me and I'm just going to take that. I'm going to go back at you. I'm going to block shots. I'm going to be aggressive, getting to the rim. And to go against Daniel Gafford, he's sitting there in the paint the entire time using great footwork. He's doing a really good job. He actually got some fouls tonight. I'm excited about that. That lets me know that he's being aggressive out there. He's not out of position hardly ever. It's just you want to have that physicality as a big. You want to set that tone, and I think that he had that tonight.
John, the fact that Alex Sarr had to go to work tonight against a guy like Daniel Gafford, who knows everything Alex Sarr wants to do, and also likes to block shots. Both of them can touch the top of the backboard. What do you think about how Alex is growing and developing, knowing that teams have the scout on him and they know what he wants to do, and he's still being able to perform?
Well, I like the progression he's made since the offseason. Coming into his second year, we know he can shoot the ball. We know he can block shots. I think he was levels ahead of what he was defensively, what he was offensively. But now what he's doing offensively, he's not scared to get into the paint. I like that he got down there, tried to be physical, make some little hook shots. So those are the things you want to see. We know what he can do defensively. His three didn't fall tonight, but he didn't fall in love with it. He went and attacked the basket, and that third quarter got him some momentum. But like Jason said, once you get dunked on as a shot blocker, your antennas go up.
Oh my gosh, does it ever?
Oh, you said it like somebody's dunking you.
Oh my, well, whoa,
See, I said it right.
I got a 360 layup on me.
Fair enough. Jason Smith, John Wall, thank you guys for this preliminary breakdown, because we got plenty more here coming on Postgame Live. But I think looking at this game, regardless of the final score, we were able to learn a lot about this team. It was a good test for them. On the other side, Coach Keefe's going to be at the postgame podium, so we'll definitely be all ears for that. But I also want to remind you that you can watch the Beltway Football Postgame Pod live on Monumental Sports Network YouTube channel Sunday night after the Commanders take on the Detroit Lions. You can join J.P. Finley and Mitch Tischler as they give their instant reaction and break down all the action from the game. It's funny, Detroit football games in D.C., and then the Wizards are about to take a trip to Detroit. Why don't we go 2-0 and be done with it?
I thought our overall team defense was great tonight. After the first quarter, we were terrific. I thought we fouled a little bit there, but when we got our defense set and kept them out of transition, our defense was pretty good.
I know three-point shooting hasn't been a strength of Dallas's, but a much better performance for you guys than last night. What was the difference for you on the perimeter?
Just our scramble, our contesting, our flying around, our multiple efforts. That's the stuff I was really pleased with. We continue to do these things. We're going to keep growing as a team. And like I said, being in these situations is great for our guys. They're learning to grow in these things, how to manage leads, how to play down the stretch, all great stuff.
Oh, and you went with Malachi again. What have you noticed about him so far this year?
Yeah, he was ready to go, and JC got in foul trouble, got 4, so we needed an extra guy to come in. Again, it's just another example of guys who are ready. He's doing a great job behind the scenes, keeping himself in shape, and his game sharp. And I thought he had really positive minutes tonight. Good for him.
You alluded to this before. What did you see from your team's offense there in the fourth quarter, and why did it get stagnant?
They were switching. They were switching everything. They went small. Sometimes you can get stagnant in that a little bit. We tried to play a little bit of one-on-one. But these are the lessons when the game in the fourth quarter for both teams can usually slow down. Can you execute your stuff? Can you run your actions that you want? Being in those situations is great for us. What can we learn from those? What can we grow? Now we can look at the film. Those are the things that are really positive. Getting into those situations are going to carry off big time down the road.
And how do you want your team to attack a switching defense in that situation next time you encounter it?
We got multiple things. Obviously, I'm not going to give away too much of that, but usually when you're in situations with that, you want to ball and player movement. You can get stagnant because that's why teams switch. I felt like we actually were able to get in the paint. We maybe could have kicked out a few more, but give them credit.
Hi, Coach. You mentioned that in this game that you were pretty pleased with the fact that they gave physicality and were aggressive. What would be the next step in terms of the mission that you guys are having this season for the next game coming up?
Keep building on that. Keep this the consistent thing to how we play. Keep making this something that we can do for longer and for better. That's the goal for us. Those are the important things. That was a good step tonight.
Hi, Coach. I know Bub's been struggling the last couple games, except tonight. He's trying to show that he's getting a little bit of his groove. What's something that you've been telling him to try to feel comfortable in his role? I know it's a little different than last year.
I think he's been growing the way he should. We've asked him to become a better defender. He's been defending terrific. Now he's playing with a different unit, and those are all things that take some time. He was actually made some key plays down the stretch of our game, hit Alex on the roll, different kickouts, spray outs for shooters, but this is part of the maturation process for him. Being in these pressure situations, learning how to run the team when he's the main handler out there, all good stuff, like where Bub's going.
tactical question for you.
Coach Brian Keefe at the Postgame podium. Welcome back to Wizards Postgame Live, presented by Robin Hood West Hall, Jason Smith, John Wall, all on site. And excited to keep this conversation going because now, guys, I want to pick your brain. I can't tell you, over 25 years of NBA experience sitting next to me, I'm going to ask some real questions. Fast break points. I want to know not the numbers. Wizards had 11, Dallas had 33. I want a conversation about functionality, about how this team can get from one half. You get the turnover. You're out moving, you're out running. But then when they get across half court, finishing it. How do they maximize finishing it from a bigs and from a guard's perspective?
From a big perspective, all I got to do is try and run the floor. You better give me the ball if I'm running the floor. But as a guard, you want to make sure that you're going out there, putting pressure on the defense. I think for me, I would follow his mindset. I would just try and run as fast as I possibly could just to keep up with him, one.
Yeah.
But two, also getting into the right space, making a nice wide floor, giving your guard a space to get to the rim, get to the opportunity to pass you the ball in the corner, mind you. This is what John Wall was really good at, getting down the floor within 2 to 3 seconds, finding your spots, but being there available. If he gets into trouble, you got to be there. You got to be a dump-off pass as a big, or you got to have somebody in the corner for an outlet.
You're working without the ball. You're working with it.
I think most importantly, whoever the guard is, get to the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
Get to the middle of the floor so you know your guys can run the wing, run the outside. And nowadays, a lot of guys want to run to the three-point line.
Right.
If it's a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 back fast break, somebody got to get to the basket. But the main thing is just keeping pressure on the defense at all times. And sometimes Jason would be in the corner or he would be the trail because he can make a trail 3 or he can make the trail mid-range. So most importantly as the guard, just keep pacing to the game. That's all you want to do. Keep pressure on the defense and make sure they understand who they're guarding.
And the only time I was in the corner was if I was like cherry picking and I was stuck in the corner. He got a rebound going 100 miles an hour.
Angle pick and rolls, you was in the corner because I told you the low man on your side think you can't shoot corner threes.
Yes, sir.
He wants to tag the big. So, a little swing pass at the corner for Jay Smith.
Savant.
You know what I'm saying?
The
Genius.
savant.
I got two of you. But I also want to, I'm curious about this, especially when it's dealing with the team with so many young players. Second youngest team in the league. You got 10 guys under 22. The decisiveness, once you've gotten out, cross half court, broke the three-point line, now you're looking at, do I want to kick it? Do I want to finish? That indecisiveness I'm seeing, how do they work through that?
Well, the indecisiveness, you can't have that. Because when you get past half court, either you're going to vary it out to the right or to the left, and you can call your big in for a drag. That's what the big is always the guy that outlets it to you or take it out is the one trailing. So either you can swing it to him and go to a delay action to the other side, or you just call him into a drag pick and roll, and you can keep your offense going.
Jason, I'm liking what I'm hearing. I want to see this in action because now you're looking at a Detroit Pistons team in a couple of days. That's a different matchup, and you're going to have to figure that out when you get up there. For that reason, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I think so. Most importantly, like now, the league is 4 or 5 guards out there. Whoever gets the rebound is pushing the pace.
Yep.
So now you got to realize, okay, if I'm the guard, I got to run the lane. With me, it was easy. Either I got it or Brad got it, and we kept it going. Now you can got your 4-man, 3-man, 2-man, a point guard.
Everybody.
Getting the rebound, you got to go. So most important, just get out there, and that's why you got to be at practice and learn every position, just not your position.
Jason, when you were as a big man, to the point of knowledge of where everybody's supposed to be, your legs are burning, your chest is burning, and you know you're also the primary defensive back.
Oh, calm down, calm down. Go ahead.
He's like, finish the question, don't let it. No, I'm just saying, I'm thinking about a guy like Alex Sarr, who has to cover a lot of mileage when he's running up and down and making sure he's in the right space. How does he allow for space for a guy like Keyshawn George, who if Keyshawn is not the primary, but he's running with him, how do they make sure they keep enough space on the court to allow the guard or the primary ball handler to have the decision-making?
Well, you got to think in a traditional mindset for myself, if I'm blocking a shot or getting a rebound, I'm outletting it. I'm not pushing it up the floor. But for Alex Sarr, he has the ability, he can block the shot, get the rebound, push it in transition, and then he has to have that decision-making ability, which he fully does. But for me, I was blocking the shot, I was letting the rebound, I was getting it to this guy right here. We were going full court, and if they didn't do something on the offensive end, I was huffing and puffing trying to get in there for a drag screen and then rolling my butt to the basket. But for me, I love the fact that there's interchangeable parts in this offense. It doesn't matter who brings the ball up the floor. Obviously, Keyshawn has done a really good job of maintaining that ability to be in the pick and roll, but getting defensive stops and pushing it in transition, utilizing Sarr in that pick and roll activity and making good decisions of either dumping it off to him, attacking the rim, getting to the free throw line, or popping it to the corner. So there's lots of different options. You just got to figure out on the fly what you're going to do in that moment.
Last question about this subject for you, John. You were fast. Everybody wants to play fast. Sometimes you can run fast into a brick wall. How do you guys measure pace in that? Again, trying to learn the game as they're having it early in their careers. We're only 10 games in.
Well, when I looked at it, when I got the ball, if it's 1 or 2 guys back, okay, I like my chances. Nobody's stopping. If it's 3 guys, I'm still pushing the pace, but I can change my tempo anytime. But knowing where your guys are, like I knew Otto Porter was going to be in the corner for 3. I knew Brad might be trailing. I knew Brad might be in the slot. And also at times, Gortat would run ahead and seal. So he's holding the guy off. I just throw it over top, get him an easy one. If your big is running the floor, getting the stops for you and setting the screens, you got to get him easy shots at times.
I love it. Great breakdown. Just a full conversation about the game of basketball with John Wall and Jason Smith here on Wizards Postgame Live. Yes, albeit in the loss to Dallas, that is okay. The amount of learning and opportunities that have come from this game alone, as Coach Keefe said, there is a ton of tape that this young Wizards squad can learn from, and I'm glad that they're going to continue to do it, and we'll be watching our film as well. So we'll take a quick break here on Postgame Live. When we come back, we got a film room coming up with Alex R a little bit later on, but I also want to remind you about B. Mitch and Finley, my guys, Washington football legend Brian Mitchell and VC veteran DC Sports reporter J.P. Finley. They got the B. Mitch and Finley show. It's weekdays 10 to 2 right here on Monumental Sports Network, so make sure you're watching and streaming at your leisure. We are in Vanda Studios at Monumental Sports Network. Back in a moment.
It's cool to be known as a good basketball player, but it's better to be known as a great person. It's more so about what I do off the court that I care about.
John was her hero.
We couldn't be more proud of his embrace of Washington, D.C.
John Wall continues to show why he is one of the very best we have in our game.
I know how much I love D.C. and how much they love me. It's bigger than basketball.
John Wall with an incredible hang and score.
Around the back, going 120 miles an hour.
Oh, my! Wall over Kobe Bryant. He cashes in.
John Wall is in the building.
Wall drives the bubble of the basket and one. Yeah! John Wall star. Incredible. What a high by Wall for the score. Wall bangs and scores. Delayed shoot, scores.
Boy, oh boy, was that clutch.
Gives it to Wall. Working against Bradley for 3. 6 seconds. Wall well beyond the arc for 3. It's there! John Wall! What a shot!
The basketball gonna stop bouncing one day for John Wall. I gave everything I had. Blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat, and tears. Man, it is fun watching those moments. Let's get to our assist of the game brought to you by ZK Sync, and it involves John Wall because we're looking at the assist leaders through the first 100 games played, logging it since 1974. And who stands alone at the top? John Wall with 808 assists in his first 100 games. Bub Carrington in second place with 411. First of all, John, bruh, that's a lot of work. Do the first 100. 808?
I didn't know that. I just told Sticks. I was like, that surprised me. I thought.
Do you know who you threw majority of those assists to?
808.
100 games, first
Brad.
year.
Brad, no,
First year, yeah, first year, first 100.
Throughout the first year, you had somebody that was getting
I'm
you
about
some
to
good
look it up
assists.
myself.
JaVale.
Yep.
Andre
Probably
Black.
JaVale.
Yep.
Nick Young had to be in some of those.
Yep, 3 point.
Yep.
Nick Young had to be in some of those.
You spent more P&R moves with Blatch that year.
Yeah.
A lot of
Well, you know, most of our offense, rest in peace, Flip Saunders, was the Timberwolves offense.
Yeah.
It was for the 4-man.
See? That's why I love having this guy here. Just so much
So
basketball
a lot of
knowledge
pick and
between
pops.
the two of y'all, man.
I had to get Dre not to try to get into his bag, though. I wanted
Right,
to,
like, no, get it and
dribble
then
the
shoot
ball,
the
man.
ball.
Come
Don't
on,
sit there
man.
messing up
After
the
2
system.
dribbles, you mess your assist up, as they say.
Yeah.
Well done. You know what, though? With the other guy that's on that list, Bub Carrington, I want to have a quick conversation about Bub because if you're going to talk about a guard, it's best to have a guard to do so, and you did it at the best of the ability. Looking at what Bub can improve on, groove on, whatever you have, you said something that I think is really worthy of conversation, and that is 3-level scoring. We talked about it in the back. Would you mind just kind of unpacking that conversation for us again?
Well, for one, Bud has a mid-range down pat. We already know that. But I said for him, it's like be able to knock down threes. Not saying you got to be a great shooter.
Right.
Be able to knock down the open ones, but I was saying 3-level scoring at the rim.
Right.
Get his floater down pack, and I got to give a shout out to a trainer, Chris Johnson in L.A. He works on level 1, level 2, level 3. And Bud had opportunity to shoot a level 3 layup tonight, rimmed in and out. Right. But just to see him work on that, you could tell he's in the gym trying to develop that. So I think once he get more comfortable with that, he'll be fine.
Jason?
You know, doing that in-game experience is tough because not much practice time. They don't get to
Yes.
practice that as much. It's mostly going against the coaches. And for him, he just needs to go out there and shoot it with confidence. I think the biggest thing for him, making sure that you're running the offense, you're working on your own game, but getting 10 toes in the paint. He's doing a really good job so far. Now, granted, he is learning how to play in his current size and form. 3 years ago, he was a lot shorter. Now he's coming in here. He's playing with NBA talent. He's getting into the paint. He's learning how to finish and finish at a high level. I think for him, if he can continue to work on his game, he can go out there and be very, very good.
John, when we think about paint touches and getting 1 or 2 feet in the paint, how important is it for a guy like Bub to make sure that that is an essential part of his game?
I think it's key because you got to think he wasn't as tall like you said years ago. He always worked on getting to the mid-range, and that became his bread and butter. And that shot's going to be there all night. If it's late in the shot clock or in the game and you want to win the game, it's cool to take that shot. But early on in the offense, touch the paint, floaters. Then you start reading your defense and figuring out where you're kicking the passes to. But most important, like me and Sticks just talked about, is when you're in pick and roll, don't worry about the guy guarding you or the big. It's the help side. Can you read those guys and know where to make those right passes and reads to?
What helped you gain your IQ on court to be able to see and read and assess that?
I think for me, it's like I always could score the ball, but I got more excitement than seeing my teammates score. So I knew if I got those guys shots early on in the game, that made the game easy for me. Now you can't double team me. Right. Now I can score in transition because other guys has rhythms. Then the fourth quarter come, guess what? You can't leave those guys open because they're known to making open shots. So I never had to worry about that. So just take your time, watch a lot of film, and then read the second defense. Don't worry about the main defense.
Right. Jason, when you thinking about what John is considering, I'm going to add the responsibility of the big or whoever's that second person in that PR. What are your responsibility to make sure that you
I know what my responsibility is. Set a good screen.
What kind of screens do you like to set?
I set
ones I didn't want to get hit with.
screens. He hated when I screened him. But then when I was a teammate with him, he had the opportunity to be like, man, Jay frees me up so easily. He didn't have to worry about his defender. He was going downhill at a big, and that's what guards really look forward to doing. They don't want to go against their defender. No. They want to go downhill towards the big that's defending them. That way they can see the corners, they can see the wings. It's an awesome vision thing. John had it, Chris Paul had it. I mean, all these guys that are great individual point guards, they have great screen setters. Myself, Gortat. We made sure to get this man open and going downhill because the speed translates to easy layups, dunk opportunities, but also getting your teammates open.
Indeed. Now, let's add another level to this. He's a Baltimore kid. You know the fire and the belly of a Baltimore kid who's ball dominant, who wants to show out every time he touches it. How does he give himself some grace? Because, I mean, he's in his sophomore season. You know, he played all 82 last year. We just showed you the assist numbers that he's had through his first 100. How does he make sure that he gives himself some grace to continue to grow? Because that sophomore year in life is always a little bit more challenging.
Just understand it's a process. Everything's not going to be easy. Take the reps and make sure you're watching film. Make sure you're getting the work in. That's the most important thing. Don't be mad and skip over the steps when you see a film and they be like, oh, that's a turnover. Oh, I don't want to watch that. No, watch the bad things. Don't watch all the good plays. Right. Watch the turnovers you had tonight. Watch the turnovers from other games and learn from those. It's not going to be perfect every night. If you're a ball handler, you got the ball 95% of the time, you're going to average maybe 2 or 3 assists. But as long as you're getting your teammates involved and you're making the right plays, you can live with those results.
Bub Carrington tonight, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 9 points in 28 minutes. And I'm looking at how everyone can continue to learn and grow from this moment. Go ahead and break down what you're seeing right here, Jason, about how Bub Carrington, well, actually, you go ahead, John, because you see Bub actually got a corner skip all the way to Keyshawn.
I like that. That was the right read, right? Yep. Great play. Took his pace getting down in the paint. He even had a lob there if he wanted to Sar. But that's a great kick-out pass. I think him getting 2 feet into the paint, he's starting to read that and see that. And you'll see a couple other ones early. He made the read a little too early. Make the defense fully commit, and then you make those reads. If they don't stop you, you take your floater, you take your layup at the rim, and then you'll get that progression to grow.
I want to see that clip one more time because a lot of times people get focused, and I'd say naturally so, you're focused on did he make the bucket or not. That wasn't the best part of that play. The part of the play was the read.
Yes.
The read. Why, John?
Because you go back to maybe last year, early in the year, stop right here. He would have shot a mid-range.
Right.
Take one more dribble and make the right read. Now you see the low man in P.J. Washington. He had to come over. If not, you have a lob to Sar, but that's a great read. You're not going to make every shot, but you see yourself on film making the right plays. You can go, okay, I can do this. Because you probably thought, can't make those reads.
Right.
Now you see a couple of those go throughout a game. I can't make them if I'm making the right play. Don't live with the results of making a shot.
Right.
You should make the right read.
I like that. See?
He's doing a really good job of letting the play develop. He's doing a really good job of having that maturation process of earlier on last year, he's trying to go out there and score the basketball. He's looking for his mid-range.
Not a question.
He's going a little bit too fast. But now if you play with pace, you let the play develop, like John said, looking at the bottom weak side defender, not reading your own defender, that guy's stuck on a screen. You're going out there reading what the big is doing. Is he committing to you? Is the bottom weak side going to the big? If so, you pass it to the corner. That's the right play. You trust your teammates to go out there and make shots for you.
And John, when you're dealing with guards who, let's say, I'll ask it casually, how many true on-ball point guards are there actually in the league overall, in your opinion? Just that guy's a certified, he's a PG.
Right now?
Right now.
Maybe
It's a
about
dying
2.
breed.
That's why I'm asking, because I kind of know where the answer was going to go. And the reason I'm asking that is, traditionally, you look at whoever runs the point, that's the point guard, he has these responsibilities. But you got a whole now generation of guys like Bub Carrington that are kind of natural combo guards.
Yeah.
How do they find which side of the street they need to lean to at any given moment, especially as young as he is?
It's tough. It's tough because, like I always say, you can't build a point guard.
Say that again.
Can't build a point guard. Point guard is born. You can try to help a guy become a better point guard and find the reads, but his natural ability is getting to the basket, getting to the mid-range and making his shots. But I think with him just watching film, he can watch me, he can watch Rondo, he can watch Chris Paul, he can watch Halliburton, all those type of guys, and understand how to make those certain reads that he probably couldn't make years ago.
Man, this is good.
See, I can't give you that information. That's
I know,
all.
He's a PG. I've been asking you about Sar, you and Tony done told me all the big man stuff. But when we want to talk about Bub, I'm so thankful that we have you here tonight, John, to really have a discussion about Bub, because he can learn a lot, we can learn a lot, and I love the fact that we're zooming in. Again, don't fall in love with just the results of the play. There's some stuff in there in between that can really show you the levels that these guys are taking. So I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, I think everybody has to understand, as fans watching and fans of the Wizards, you have to understand it's a process. Everything's not going to be perfect early on. He's developing to try to be something. So when you see him get to the basket, it might have a game of 5 or 6 turnovers. It's going to happen. He's trying to learn the point guard position at a different level, which is the hardest position to learn coming into the NBA.
Tell him,
and also, he might not be a great finisher now. It's going to take time, but as long as you see the progression of him working on it daily, stick with him. It's going to be a great season and great time for him whenever he figures it out.
Indeed. Great guys that can finish at the rim. Rod Strickland, Gil, yourself. Bub, working up to that, so loving that. But since I got John Wall here, why not continue to give him his flowers? Because, I mean, hello, he's here, and you're still a rookie until the end of the year. But as for right now, you're always going to be the Wall star. So let's enjoy just a little bit of flower sharing for John Wall. I'll just go ahead and do it myself. It's just some photos. Oh, my gosh, John. Wow.
Look at the baby face.
Look at
What is that face, Martin?
Matter of fact, I want you to just tell me what you're seeing as you see these pictures. Just your own in real time.
Progression.
Old bean.
Mouthpiece hanging out. I don't know what I was doing. I'm fighting. I can't let LeBron bully me. He probably took 6 dribbles and I asked for help. Great guard matchup with Chris Paul. I love those type of matchups. Another great guard. You know, all 4 of us right there is from North Carolina.
Shout out.
Jumping over G-Wiz, dunk contest.
Come on.
Community assist. That's the most accepting award I would accept out of all of them, giving back to the community.
Wow.
Me with on the tag, getting my All-Star jersey. I don't know. This one of the media days. I don't know.
Scrum.
Me probably in the Staples Center enjoying a great game I had. Stars and Stripes.
Best jersey right there. The best jersey.
Everybody keeps going on about
that.
that.
All standing on the table. Brad talking about, what are you doing up there?
So, John,
you stood on the table?
Yes.
Yeah, he stood on the table.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm
going
to go ahead and I'm going to divulge a bit of a secret about that particular moment. So in pregame, I told you that moment has been captured in a variety of ways. So if you get a chance to go down in the vault, if you were privileged to be down in there, part of the art that is down there is that moment captured in wood. And when you get a chance to see, like, it's an art museum up under the arena, bro. It's crazy good.
Never seen it.
Next time we come back, I'm going to take you down there. You're going to be like,
I'm holding you against
I'm
that.
telling you, like, seriously, you're going to be like, what? But it just goes to show you that those moments are always and will forever be held close to our heart here. And thank you for having them. Thank you for letting us witness them. And thank you for sharing your knowledge and your IQ here, because we're going to be milking you for everything we can get up out of you while you are here. So thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
One and only John Wall here on Postgame. We ain't done, so don't turn the channel. We got plenty much going on. Anyway, I got to take a quick break, though. All right, we'll take a break. We'll get some more behind-the-scenes conversations going on. Do want to remind you, though, something big on the horizon in the local hardwood. It's Monumental Night at Howard University on Thursday, November 13th. The Bison hosting Alcorn State. Tons of activations, some familiar faces from the Wizards and Monumental Sports Network. You can actually scan that QR code for ticket information, and you don't want to miss it. More post-game back in a moment with Jason Smith and John Wall, live from Vanda Studios. Welcome back to Postgame Live, presented by Robinhood. Let's jump in the film room. Jason, lead the way, sir.
We want to talk Alex Sarr and his ability to have vision on the floor. He doesn't necessarily have to score the ball all the time, but to slither a pass right in between two defenders, allowing C.J. McCollum to get to the rim. Great opportunity for him, especially as a big, to have great passing. But for him, this is what he is predicated on. Defense, protecting the paint, blocking shots, making sure that he gets his team the opportunity to get out in transition and have easy buckets. But John, he's got amazing vision out there on the floor as well.
Definitely, for sure. You see right here, pick and roll. I mean, throw the ball to him, go for a steal. I think he could have made the pass a little sooner because he's right there, but now the defense comes over. Keyshawn George slides down, get a wide open three.
Well done. Way to knock one down, kid. You know what? It's so interesting watching these.
I think here, like, you can use him more right here. You got him right here. He gets the opportunity to go one-on-one. You got a lot of off-ball action going on. Defender looks like that. He goes right by him, get to the basket. I think you use him more very ways like that because he can pass very well, but he also can put the ball on the floor.
Which is unique because as we watch this league over the last couple of years, like, as you said, there was a time when big man, you don't drive nothing.
No.
You go stand over there with your back to the rim.
Get it to him, go set a screen.
Set the screen, get out the way. Now you've seen that the game is taking on a more European approach to it. You get guys from all over the place who can play in his style. I'm curious before we get into talking about just his program tonight, because he's had now 6 games this season with 3 or more blocks. He's had 18 of those total in his career. Jason, first steps for a big man to be able to minimize the amount of effort that it takes to get to a bucket. How important is it for him to be able to learn good footwork, efficient footwork, and most importantly, that first step for Alex?
Well, it's important with the first step because it gives you the opportunity to get to the rim faster. You're not dealing with a shot blocker. You get past the defense. Plus, if you can get past the defense and possibly collapse the defense, you can open up things for your teammates. And for him, especially with his ability to dribble, his footwork inside, if he can get 10 toes in the paint, he has pivots. He has the ability to rise up over defenders. But if he's going to go out there and possibly get to the free throw line, that first step is paramount.
That first step is a doozy, straight up. So shout out to Alex Sarr for adjusting and learning in real time, developing. That's all we're asking for. Again, Sarr, 17 points here as a starter tonight. But the person who is in the locker room right now with the Meg McPeak is Malachi Branham, who is always ready whenever his number is down.
Your ability to impact the game off the bench, just the stay ready mentality, where do you find that?
I practice it every day. Me and DV, we practice it every day. I get on the court. You never know when I'm going to get in, so I feel like that's just energy you got to have whenever you get in. You just got to give it all you can.
4 rebounds, but you had a couple of really nice assists. Walk me through that wraparound assist that you had.
It was just a good pass. I really don't know. You talking about the one to Bub, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got the rebound. I saw Bub, and I know he a good shooter. So he gave me my assist. I appreciate you, Bub.
Also had an impact on the defensive and the defensive mindset, especially with the way that they were trying to break you guys down and get into the paint.
Yeah.
That no give up mentality. Where does that come from, and what did it do for you on that end?
Yeah. Don't let my man score. I feel like that was just my mindset. I don't like when people score me, so I try to do the best I can to make people miss.
A lot of what you guys are trying to do, stack the positive habits. What's one of those things you can take from tonight's game as you head back out on the road?
We didn't blink. I feel like the thing is just keep fighting. I feel like we did that until the end.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate you.
Want to remind you, your Washington Wizards be back in action on Monumental Sports Network Wednesday, November 12th, when they take on the Houston Rockets. And you can tune in for pregame live at 7:30 p.m., followed by tip-off at 8 p.m. We'll be back here in a moment. Wizards postgame live presented by Robinhood, live from Vantage Studios at Monumental Sports Network. Welcome back. Wizards Postgame Live. We'll take a look at the road ahead now. Let's make sure everybody understands the next game on our network. That is Wednesday against Houston. But on Monday, we're on the road against Detroit, the statistical 7-2 best team in the Eastern Conference, led by Cade Cunningham. Who wants to start? See, you ready? Go ahead.
That's exactly
I need to know the scout on this, Jay. Let's go.
That coach said they got to be physical like they was tonight.
Yeah.
Well, you better bring it on Monday night because you know why? Jalen Duran, man amongst boys, is going to be physical, and they got Isaiah Stewart back. So that's going to be a great matchup for Sarr to see if he can match their physicality.
Sticks?
That Cade Cunningham pick and roll, you could better have that bottom weak side ready because those bigs are going to be rolling to the basket with some force and effort. You got Durant, who's going to be looking to hang on that rim all night long. You got to have some sort of defensive intensity. You got 6 fouls.
Use them.
Put somebody on the ground.
And talk, communicate, which, by the way, someone has done an excellent job in their debut of talking here on Monumental Sports Network. John Wall, well done. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. This was fun. Stick sending it on the round as you just did. Make sure everybody got it.
Baby.
Well, on behalf of our great crew and staff here at Monumental Sports Network, and of course on behalf of Jason Smith and John Wall, I'm Wes Hall. I look forward to seeing you back on our air on Wednesday. The next game for the Wizards is on Monday. That's on Peacock. But we'll be glad to see you here on the network on Wednesday. So until then, be well, do it for one, for all, for the district, and we'll see you in a couple of days. Good night, Wiz fans.